Hello, everyone. Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? How you doing? Welcome to Seekers Chronicles, Paranormal Historians. This is my lovely co-host or host. My host, Kimberly. Jenny is going to be a little late tonight, but she'll be here. She'll definitely be here, and we're going to have a great show, and we have a great guest. So, Kimberly, or Kim, you got Kimberly up now. You're messing me up tonight.
Oh, yeah, I change them. They're totally interchangeable. No worries.
Okay, so I can still call you Kim and not get smacked?
Yeah.
All right, I just want to make sure that's not one of those things like, now you're Kimberly, the nice girl. Kim, the mean girl, so you could start announcing our guest, a good friend of ours too.
Yeah, so we have a really fun episode tonight. So I'm really excited about tonight, not only because our guest is one of our close paranormal friends, but also because this location we're going to be talking about tonight is actually one that all four of us have investigated, not once, not twice, 3 times, and some of us have been there 4 or more times. So it is a place that's very close to our hearts and a very well-known place. So we have Richard Michella on tonight, who is a spirit artist. He's also a medium, an author, and he is a paranormal researcher. So what's also really great is his 9th book. 9th. Yes, read that. 9 book is coming out this Thursday, and we'll give you more details about that as the show goes on. But we have Richard here tonight to help us as we go through some of the history and evidence that we've all collected tonight about the PH Steakhouse, also known as the Public House, in Chester, New Jersey. So this is an infamous location, very well known in the paranormal circles, notorious history of being haunted, and I can tell you that there are spirits there. Yes, welcome, Richard.
Yeah, hey, Richard.
I've been watching every week that you've been doing the podcast. It's phenomenal. So you guys have a great time doing it. You can see that you're having fun doing it. So thank you very much for the invite, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, well, we do it for the fun, not the money.
Exactly.
No money. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, but so first of all, Richard, how'd you? Well, you're a famous author now too. Look at you. I met you. You're just a little tot this big. Now look at you. Oh.
I always wanted to write, though. I remember as a kid, I would be coming up with stories, and back then I would sit at a typewriter and I would type these stories, and I would always
give you age away typewriter.
Yeah, man, I'm dating myself now. Like I was using the old typewriter. I would come up with stories. I would, watch the X-Files and watch documentaries on TV, and I would read about aliens and Sasquatch, and I would just blow my mind. So I always wanted to be an investigator, and it's something that I always carry close to me throughout school and young adulthood, and now I get to do it for a living, which is a dream come true. When you're living your dharma, right? And we're living our purpose, and we feel so good doing it. And you meet great people doing it, like yourself and Kim and our friends right here in the chat, Team Coco and Ron and Lord. I mean, it really does. It brings people that share that common goal with you, to make contact with the other side, to investigate the paranormal. So, it just like the doors just kind of open up, right? The doors just open up, and people that are meant to come in, and we get to do this. So. I can't read, so I have to use the
auto books, which hey, no, but I sit there and I listen to the audio books too. So that not only you can read them, you got some books that could be read for you. That's even the better part.
Beyond the
Especially when you sit back with a
Yeah,
cigar and a beer.
Yeah, my publisher was like, would you like your books to go on Audible? And I'm like, definitely, because there's so many times that you're somewhere and you're selling your books or you're talking about your books, and people, they say, I'm in the car for over an hour and it's easier for me to listen.
Yeah.
So when you could put a book on Audible and it's 4 or 5 hours long, you could finish that in a few days drive to and from work, or you're on a vacation, you could burn through a book, So the Audible feature is incredible, where all my books now are on Audible. So even if you're not one to read a book, you can listen to it. So they're all there.
Yeah, I mean, and the book is good. I mean, I like them. It's like it's pretty good. And I'm not much into books and stuff like that, but I get to hear yours, and hey, I thought it was great stories and everything.
Well, Anthony, what you're missing out on is in the books. There's pictures too, so you don't have to read. There's also pictures.
The books I like usually have pop-up pictures. His books does not pop-up pictures.
No, paranormal book that might.
Although that could be cool, a children's paranormal. That could be fun.
Where you hit like a button and then some Staticom plays with Ron and Lourdes.
Yeah. There's like little colors, and it's like on each page there's like a button with a different color, and you have the pad on the bottom. You press the pad, and that voice comes up.
Wait, I think we need to stop this podcast and copyright this idea.
That's a great idea. We pressed it with one Ron that Yakko guy. Ron Yacovetti would say, "It's only consciousness."
Yeah. Tower Paranormal goes, Richard, you need to create comics for the paranormal.
Paranormal
that sounds like a good
book.
idea.
That Raul,
that sounds like a good
305's
idea.
here. 305's here. Hello, guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's John Armando from Florida. I mean, that's the guys we were talking about before. Talking good about you. Don't worry about it. So we got a pretty nice group in the audience right now. So
they're all good people.
Yeah. I mean, it's always good to get people around you, especially what we do, that there's no drama. You have the good people around you, there's no drama.
Got to remind yourself, like, we're all in this, not for each other. We're not in this for, fame or fortune, but we're in this field for, I hope a lot of people that are in this field are for spirit, giving spirit a voice, living the continuity of life, right? Letting people know that, our consciousness survives the physical. When the physical body dies, that consciousness, that light that made that loved one who they were, transcends physical death. That's what mediumship does. That's what paranormal investigating does, is we find that evidence to show the public that there's consciousness that we are communicating with that's intelligent and still present. So that's why I'm doing this. And that's why I love working with people that don't have ego, that just work together for that common goal. And it's very hard to kind of find that, because a lot of the time you get that look at me kind of thing. And it's not about me. It's not about you. It's about us being in the service for the spirit world, or for whatever we're looking for, whether if you're someone who's pursuing flying saucers or alien you're in the service of those witnesses that you're interviewing. You're in the service of the abductees that you're interviewing. You're in the service of the evidence that they are showing you that you need to comb through and either say it's real or if it's hoax. But that's what we're in the service of. It's not about, look at what I'm doing, I'm incredible. Yeah. Look at what we're doing as a collective, and what we're contributing to that collective.
Yeah.
And that's what the paranormal field is it's a huge collective. And if we just keep putting positive things forward, we keep pushing that along. But when we start putting some negative stuff and ego into it, we kind of regress it. We're not pushing things forward anymore. We're infighting. It's not about that. We kind of lose that focus.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. If you put all that into it, all that negative stuff, you're not going to get much evidence. And if you do get evidence, it's usually negative evidence, you know. And that's why we go in with a positive attitude as much as we can.
And spirit knows your intentions. I'm sorry to,
Mm-hmm.
When you walk in that door, spirit knows why you're there, what's
Mm-hmm.
in your heart, why you're trying to communicate with them. And
Mm-hmm.
it's up to them to decide. That's why I always say to, my team feels the same way. You go in and you state your intentions. You
Mm-hmm.
make them feel like they're a living person. You talk to them like you would somebody who's sitting next to you at a park. There's respect.
That's right.
Rich, your name's Anthony. We're here to investigate this location. We come here out
Mm-hmm.
of respect. We're here to tell your story.
Mm-hmm.
You introduce yourself. We don't barge in and start demanding things. And that's
Mm-hmm.
important, because how would you like, if somebody barged in your house and started demanding things? You'll pull back. You wouldn't want to talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
I always say it's intention, it's respect. And that should be at the top of the list when you go into any location.
That's definitely go in with a positive attitude. So,
of course. So what I was going to ask Richard is what calls you to this then? What calls you to the paranormal work, or how did you come into the paranormal, for those who may be listening who don't know?
Well, as a kid, I always went over to my parents' table when they were having coffee, and I would hear stories of my father's side of the family and seances, and his, aunts and uncles all these seances and communication with the other side. And I would be spooked. But I also remember as a young kid feeling spirit like come into my bedroom at night. I would feel someone like leaning over my bed and the bed starting to go down. So throughout my childhood, I would close these feelings and senses that I was having off to the best of my ability. But I always was intrigued because I kept hearing the stories and I kept experiencing it.
mm-hmm.
But I did try my best to turn it off. But then, and I would say, I'm 9, I'm 10, 11 years old, I started getting into other paranormal subjects. I wanted to learn about Sasquatch and UFOs and aliens.
I love that.
I grew up in like the late 80s and early 90s. So there was the documentaries. There was In Search Of, Arthur C. Clarke's Mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
There was a show on Channel 5 called Sightings, where it was like a news show, but all about the paranormal.
I loved Sightings.
And I would just tune in and I would record them. I would make my mom buy blank videotapes and I would record them and just watch the episodes over and over and over again. And I remember like the cast of characters, the Warrens would be on it. John Zaffis was, on an episode. And I remember
a young guy.
This, right? So, and now I'm going to like fast forward. You're coming full circle. So I would see these people from the paranormal, Strieber with extraterrestrials and Hudson Valley, and I would just immerse myself in these documentaries. And then as I got older, I would take the books out of the library because that was the only place that I could get the books. There was no Barnes & Noble yet in the early 90s in Bergen County, New Jersey. But I remember like when Barnes & Noble finally came in Paramus, I went there, it was like 1994, 95, and I got my first book and it was on Roswell because we were getting close to the anniversary of the British. And I was so happy. I'm like, I got a book now that's my own. And from that time on, now I have 550 books in my basement, all on the paranormal. I have a problem with books, and that's probably spawned out of this childhood obsession of I must read everything I can get my hands on. But yeah, so it's just as a kid, the documentaries, the books. I remember in high school and study halls, I would be reading books on the paranormal. And my, study hall teacher would come over and be like, "What are you reading? You should be reading The Great Gatsby." I'm reading Communion from Strieber, and the teachers were like, "What is this junk that you're reading?" And it was my passion then, and learning all about it. I remember I started a little group in, I think it was like my junior or my sophomore year in high school. We called ourselves the Per Files. Paranormal extraterrestrial research. And it lasted all about 2 or 3 months, and then we found out about girls, and then we stopped. And then we stopped the Per Files,
But searching for other things.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you need to have a resurgence of that. Bring it back.
Yeah, right. So, and then even now, every once in a while, people from my high school is like, "Hey, I remember, the Per Files," and I was like, it just shows you. But again, as a child, watching those shows, seeing John Zaffis, I get to investigate with John all these years later,
Yeah.
and I get to work with him on a few very cool cases. So those are moments, and I got to talk to Strieber. I mean, and I had an interview with him for my book with the aliens. So it's coming full circle and noticing that, and noticing like what it took to come full circle.
Yeah.
The people that have helped me along. The no's that I got. I remember a guidance counselor in high school when I said, I want to be an author. The guidance counselor was like, you need more realistic views. And I kind of was hurt by that, because here I am showing this huge interest in writing, and they kind of shot that down. But what they also did was fuel me, because I said, you know what, I'm going to prove you people wrong. And that's what I did. And I still feel like it's not like I need to prove anything, but now it's just an obsession. I finished one project and I got 2 more projects lined up. And that's how I work. I'm always busy. I'm always working. I'm always writing. If something doesn't gel, I move it to the side and we toss it out. And then maybe I'll rework it later. But I'm always writing. But
Rich, wasn't one of your old teachers? Didn't they come to one of your talks?
Yes, at Lodi Library. Yeah, I was so amazed. I was looking in the audience. I'm like, oh my God, and she just came up to me. She gave me a big hug and she's like, I'm so proud of you. And she told me that there's a kid now in school that's showing interest in the paranormal. And she told me she's going to pass on my books to him.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
that's so cool.
Who knows? Maybe one day I could go back to my high school and just be like, you guys can do this. It's not something so far-fetched. It's very much attainable. And I tell that to everybody. If somebody wants to write something, write it. 3, 4, 5 pages a day. How many days in a year? If you wrote a little bit each day, you'll have a book at the end of the year, no matter how slow that you write. So you're able to do this. Tell your story. Everybody's story is unique. Don't think that nobody wants to listen to what I have to say. Everybody has a great story to tell. So the thing is just starting, right? The journey of 1,000 miles starts with one single step. So
that's all.
That's the thing. It's just starting. And when you start, you'll see it just starts moving. And for me, I never stopped moving. So from the documentaries to reading the books, and then out of high school, I started to embrace the spirit, the connection that I had, mediumship. And then later on, I luckily met somebody who told me, you really should start sketching. You really should start putting down what you're seeing in your mind's eye on paper. And at first, I'm like, I can't draw. I'm looking to do a stick person. But it was funny because at about the same time, I started getting really heavily into comic books again. And I started learning how to draw Batman and superheroes and facial features. And I started to apply what I was learning there to drawing what I was seeing through my clairvoyance. And as I started doing that, the faces started getting a little better. The shadowing, I started learning how to use a charcoal crayon and how to shadow the faces and how to make a full face or a skinnier face and noses and eyes. And I took all that and I started to apply it to the spirit art. So then we get into 2018, 2019. I just started saying I'm just going to start showing this stuff when I go into these locations and see if it resonates. And it did. And that was a huge boost to my confidence to actually show this, and not it, and be afraid of judgment of what people were going to think of the artwork. And, to this day, I mean, it's just gotten better year after year. I continue to learn. I don't think saying that I know everything and just stop. We always have to keep learning with our ability.
That's right. We always learning.
We all have abilities. That's another thing Kim and I think are on the same page with is mediumship, psychic, that intuitive, that intuitive knowing that we have. That is all an ability. We learn how to work it. We learn how to make it strong. We learn how to control it and turn it on and turn it off. It's just like you want to play an instrument. You want to play the drums. You got to dedicate yourself. You got to go there every day, pick up those drumsticks and work at it. The guitar, the same thing. Mediumship is the same thing. You got to learn meditation. You got to know energy. You got to learn how to quiet the monkey mind, how to learn symbolism. And all this comes into play. So now here I am, 42 years old in front of you. I'm still chasing the paranormal like I did as a kid, but I'm doing it with really cool people. I'm doing it with some of my heroes that I read their books. I saw them on those documentaries. I can talk to them. I can go on investigations with them. And that is like the dream coming true for me. And if anything else ever happened, I mean, I am so happy with what I've done so far and who I've met, who I've worked with. I mean, all of you guys that I work with the Morris County events and private cases that we work on. I mean, it's just a pleasure. You know, we even feel that when we're all together, it's like the gang is complete. Like, and it's just a great feeling because I feel like just like a band, you know, I'm a Springsteen fan. I feel like we function like the E Street Band, right? Everybody has their niche. Like you do your thing, Kim does her thing, I do my thing. And when we play it together, you know, when we come together, you make beautiful music. And I think that's what happens. We have great investigations. We have great evidence. We have great camaraderie. I mean, and that's another thing where there's no ego and everyone's in it for spirit. And we present really great evidence. We capture some really good stuff. But it's just an honor to work with you guys and to live this life, you know, that I never thought that I would be able to do in the public eye, and writing the books and putting out documentaries. And now I'm teaching classes, which is another thing I never thought that would happen. But I feel like with the knowledge that I do have, why not start sharing it? Why not tell other people that you have this ability too?
I mean, your pictures are great. I mean, and you're the one that got me actually to show my pictures. You're the one that started me off because
you've been doing it a long time, Anthony, and I think it was about time that you started to show the world.
It's like a different era for us when I was coming through. Stuff like that we weren't allowed to talk to. We were put down with. And then when I started doing my paranormal stuff and going out, started my team. I started my team in '96, you know, and it was like there's nobody with me at that time, and I would do everything by myself, and a lot of things went off by myself. So in my drawings, I put stuff down that I seen and just had it down, and I didn't think about showing it to anybody because I didn't think anything of it until you started telling me. You said, "Why don't you bring it?" And then we did that show in the Ritz.
Yeah, the Ritz Theater.
That's really opened me up to it, and it's like people like, "Wow, that's cool," and you know, everybody seemed to like it, which I was. Really, you know, I never thought anybody would like it. So, you're the one that started me off on that. Now that's the thing I'm doing more than anything, is doing my drawings.
And it feels good. Like you actually felt a shift where it's like I don't have to care what people think when I show my artwork. Like this is me. This is what I do. You have an ability. So why not share that? You know, why not share those impressions that you get when you walk into these places?
Yeah. So, like I said, I at the time I didn't think it meant anything. It was only like for me, because nobody out there, like I didn't think anybody really cared, because everybody seemed to want that hard evidence, like they see on TV of, you know, the half-hour show where they get somebody talking, because it also became audio evidence. Everything was audio evidence and some video evidence, and then that's the whole thing. And it was like, this is what I see. Who's going to believe me? This is my point of view.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to listen to that. They want hard evidence. That's why I never really showed it.
Yeah.
But then you talked me into it, and I was like, I give it a shot. Remember, I showed up with like 100 pictures.
But I mean, it was breathtaking. I mean, we had you had them lined over the entire bar when the people walked in. They were all up on the railings, and it just caught their attention. I mean, it was like a life of sketching all in one room. I mean, some of those sketches go back years ago, and I'm so happy that you were finally able to share them with everybody.
Hey, Jenny.
Hi, Jenny. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but you know
saved
how
you a
that goes.
seat.
Yeah, we saw you, and then we didn't. And then somebody said, I think it was Adam, said that the aliens took you.
I know.
It
It was so weird. Anyway, I made it back. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Richard.
How are you, sweetie?
Great. Sorry to interrupt. Keep going. You were talking about Anthony, which I totally agree.
Oh, with his sketches, how much they're a treasure. I mean, it's just amazing. And you have a life of sketching that you just have all this piled up, and it's great that you can finally share that with people.
Yeah. I'm happy, and I'm happy that you got me into it. So I appreciate it. I can't thank you enough. I thank every time I see you. So
You don't have to thank me, brother. You have a great ability, and you should really embrace that. And I'm happy that you have. So you keep doing it.
That's right.
thank you, Dad.
You got it, son.
I know.
Yeah,
I remember we were all eating at a diner, and Anthony was sitting. It was just the three of us actually, and he was sitting there, and he's like, "I'm not a psychic. I'm not a medium," and all I wanted to do was just bonk him on the head. I just wanted to be like, "Yes, you are." Like,
I'm going to do that anyway. But yeah.
I always consider myself a sensitive, but I never thought I was a psychic or anything.
He has like a compendium, that's my word, of drawings. When he brought them to Gettysburg, I was like, what? He's like, here's volume 4. And here's volume 5.
Yeah, I got the updates now from 2023, 2024.
Yeah.
You talk about someone that really needs to write a book. It's that guy right there.
I try to get everything down. I showed Jenny in Gettysburg that I did stuff. I wrote, I'm starting to write stuff, and then I put the picture I drew next to it, and I get the story about the picture or how I got up to that picture. And she's seeing it, and she's like, "You should publish that." I don't know how to do all that.
Listen to us.
I got a hard copy. I don't know. Everybody does all this typing. I don't know how to do all that stuff. But it will happen. It will happen.
You just talk into it, and it'll transcribe it for you. You don't actually have to type anything anymore. It just transcribes everything.
That's true.
Yeah, but you understand, when I talk into these things, it doesn't understand me.
You're gonna forget about it.
You have to switch the dial to Anthony dialect. That's what you have to do. You got to switch the dial.
I was talking to this guy, and he was still not.
It's like, hey. It's like, even with some of the words, like, spell check and stuff like that, I'm typing and I misspell the word so bad, it comes up like a question mark. Like, what the hell are you trying to say? So, I mean, the way I talk, the way I write.
Well, when the time comes, the time will come, Anthony. But we are all in support of it when the time arrives.
For sure. And I have volunteered to transcribe it to type it for him. So
Okay.
No excuses. Because I speak Anthony.
She speaks Anthony.
I speak Anthony.
You could be his ghostwriter.
See that?
His ghostwriter.
Ghostwriter. No puns inside.
Yeah, but not like the dead kind. This is ghostwriter.
No, we want the live kind. So
the living ghost kind.
Right.
We're here to talk about the steakhouse, the public house.
Steakhouse, yeah.
Yeah, where the food is good and the cannolis are even better. But
yes,
of course, I got myself eating cannoli there. So I'm going to put, if you want to start, Kim, with some of the history, I'm going to start putting some pictures up there so you can start seeing.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just putting this. I'm going to start with the sign, and I'm going to go down. I got a bunch of pictures of the front and the side of the building, and then we'll get inside. All right. Okay. So this is the sign. This is what we're talking about tonight, people.
The PH Steakhouse.
Yes, the PH Steakhouse, also known as the Public House Inn. So this building is in Main Street, obviously Main Street. Interestingly, 111 Main Street. Love that. Chester, New Jersey. It was built about 1810 to 1812. It's a little kind of wishy-washy which year, but I guess it doesn't really matter. It was built in the past, around 1810. And it's a federal-style brick building, 3.5 stories. So it's actually quite a big building. And it was originally used as a stagecoach stop. So, and actually the original stagecoach room is still in the building, which is really cool. So originally they had a lot of horses here. People come in, they would take the horses out, they might stay. So it was still an inn at that time, but it wasn't like an inn and restaurant. then at some point, it became a school. And this was around 1850, 1854. It became a school for like 500 to 800 students at the time, which is a huge amount of students, as you can imagine, in this one building. And the owners were the Rankin family. And we'll get to them because they're going to be important in the paranormal history of this location. So then after that, they sold it to the Budd family and it became a restaurant. So it became a restaurant and an inn at that time. And it definitely changed names, became like the Chester House, the old Chester House. And at that time, this would be like the 1870s to 1950s, that it was a really well-known inn and restaurant where there were 65 rooms. Now there's much less rooms now, but there were 65 rooms at one point of all different sizes. People were renting it. And there were miners who stayed there, diners, boarders, and travelers. So there was a lot of mining activity in the area, which will actually become important also for some of our investigation for this. And then eventually it went bankrupt. It got like kind of wishy-washy again. And then it opened back up in the 70s. And it's actually on the National Historic Record it's like a historic landmark from 1974. And today it's a delicious steakhouse where they embrace their paranormal history, which is really nice. A lot of locations don't.
Mm-hmm.
So they embrace their paranormal history, and there are beautiful rooms that you can stay in that have been renovated. So it's a really nice spot. And that's the history.
Oh, nice. Yeah. You got to
It's a
love a
great
location
location.
that embraces their paranormal.
Yes.
Very active, too. Very
Yeah.
active.
It's
Right.
it's an awesome location, and we think it's beautiful. I thought I went down like I'm used to these like old buildings with running water dripping and cold, and you go in there and you got the night vision camera to see. I walk into here, it's like holy shit,
Yeah. And they fed us.
So it was really nice. So
Exactly.
got
Usually it's
some-
like, is there a bathroom here? Like there's going to be like a dirt floor or something. Like
yeah,
that.
I know. It's like
Right.
you got to use the bushes. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to show some more of the pictures of inside the house. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's do
Okay,
it.
this is the front entrance from behind. Oh no, that's not the front entrance. Well,
No.
It's one of the hallways on
Yeah.
the second.
Yeah.
I love that. Brick. So
I think that's the
pretty.
third floor hallway because we don't have a couch. The other one has a couch, I think.
Yeah, so this is either the second or the third floor hallway, but as you can see, they've
Yeah.
completely renovated inside, but it's also has that still like charm. You know, they've left a lot of the charm there, the original brickwork. And actually at one point it was called the Brick House, the Brick Inn, or the Brick Hotel. It had many different names like that. So this is, look at Richard in the corner. I spy.
Somebody's hiding in the corner there.
Somebody
The hallway.
He's
It's a ghost.
fine.
So yeah, this is the part where it's the old hotel. So this isn't the restaurant. I don't think we have any pictures of the restaurant, but we were really focusing on investigating the old hotel part.
Let me see what I got here. Let me see. Because I know you know something, but I might not put that. Okay, I'm just going to go through some more stuff here. That was the room we were in last year, Jenny, remember?
Yes, that was the room we were in 2 years ago, right?
2 years ago. Oh, it was 2 years ago.
That's an actual hotel room suite.
hmm
Yeah, it's
And,
this-
and then that's the hotel room, and then on the side's the bed,
Yeah.
and this is a two room, two
Yeah.
bed.
Yeah.
Another
Two separate
room,
bedrooms.
another door. There's the bedroom. So
There
beautiful.
was two bedrooms in
they're
there.
all suites, so they're big, spacious rooms. Yeah.
You know,
But if
that
you
was
can
nice.
imagine, there's only like 10 rooms now on this side. There were
Mhm.
65 at one point. So they were all like really divided up.
That's
Okay.
amazing.
Yeah.
Look at that bedroom again. Here, that's the bedroom. That's one of the bedrooms that are there. Okay. Here's the room you guys were in.
That's that's right.
That was
You want to talk about this room?
Yeah, we did a session inside this room where we put some motion devices and we put some REMs on the table. And I put down some sketches. I believe I sketched a woman and a man. Right there, you see them. And the REM pod is right in the center. And we opened up the room for spirit to come through. And at first we weren't getting anything. When I put the pictures down next to the REM pod started going crazy. So we started getting a response. And through spirit art at locations, this is something that I like to do, is feel what I'm sensing at the location, get it down on paper, and put the sketch next to a motion sensor or something that would pick up, motion or something moving towards it. In this case, the REM pod. And we started to get responses. A lot of the people in the room were feeling someone. If you could look on the left side, there's a doorway that kind of goes into another hallway. There was a hallway there where we felt somebody was peeking in and out of. And it was like a shadowy figure. And a lot of people felt that there also. But very interesting place. We were getting a lot of motion stuff. We were getting a lot of changes from temperature. It was an interesting room, and it was a great group. A lot of them were open to, experiencing, what was happening there.
Yeah, the groups that go there are pretty good.
Yeah,
Seem to come and they come in and they join in and everything.
it's important. Like, I want them to see what goes into a paranormal investigation, and that you don't get evidence. You don't get 25 clips of Class A voices on your digital recorder. Like, it's something where there's some quiet responses. Sometimes the devices aren't going crazy. The REM pods aren't going crazy. I want to put dowsing rods in people's hands so they get to see old school things. I want them to see, pendulums work and dowsing rods, and how to use their plain intuition while they're on a paranormal investigation. And you don't have to spend a fortune to start to get into this. So it's kind of like showing them, like, these are all the different ways that we implement when we're on an investigation. And this is how you can do it. And sometimes you could just use your phone. You could use a voice app and see if you could capture a EVP or take a burst of photos and make sure you keep it on live. So when you get those orbs, you can see if the orb changes pattern and goes a different way, and it might not be dust. And just telling them this stuff. So when they go home from an investigation like this, a public investigation, they go home with information. They go home with stuff where they can continue learning. And we tell them, like, message us. Here's our information. You need any information. It doesn't end at this investigation. If you need anything, help, you want to get into books, contact them. These are our cards. And it's great because in the months since, there are people that reach out. There's sometimes people just reaching out saying, you guys were an awesome team. Thank you for talking to us like we were one of the team members. And that was another thing that when we got into this, I said, I want them to feel like they're part of the team, not being lectured to all night. Because when you're lectured to all night, you don't feel a part of something. You feel like you're just there and you're a spectator. I wanted them to be immersed in what we're doing. And I think that was important. And you guys all knock it out of the park. You make them feel that way. So it's not just the team. It's when we're there, everybody has that same mindset. We want them to feel a part of the investigation and not watching the investigation. So,
That's the way it should be. And that's the way, any time I did any kind of talks in the past or I did anything, I always try, give a tour. And in other places I've been to in the past, I'll hand them. I had this one kid. I handed him my thermal camera, and the kid's like, "Oh!" He has this like $800 camera in his hand, and he's walking around like looking at things and stuff. And you just hand him just a piece of something like a K2 or a millimeter, and this is stuff they see on TV, and all these kids seem to like. Wow. And that's what gets them more involved because they're actually not only in a tour, they are part of the investigation. Not only they're part of the investigation, they got a piece of tool in it. They got a tool in their hand that's used on investigations that they see on TV, and now they see it on TikTok and Instagram. But but they get to see it. And to this day, if I do anything, not only with you guys but with other groups and stuff, I always hand them something. These kids, especially, I go after the youngest kids there because I don't want them to be afraid.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because there's something under your bed, and parents don't listen to them.
Right.
And it's a great
Right, and-
teaching tool, right? I think
It
in
is.
paranormal locations, whether you're at historical homes or you're at a public restaurant like this that is on the register for historical places,
Mhm.
I mean, the people leave with an interest of finding out more information.
That's
So
right.
if we could spark an interest in a child that's into the paranormal, a young teen, and they're coming in for a paranormal thing, but then they leave with this appreciation for history. This keeps the historical societies and the preservation that needs to go into them continuing through these events.
Yeah.
And that's
Exactly.
important, where you can generate money to repair the roof, repair the floors,
That's right.
bring in programs that keep telling the story, even if it's through the paranormal, respectfully, or combine the
Right.
historical with the paranormal. I think they're great teaching tools, and it's something that more historical societies should be open to.
I agree with you. And one of the things, I mean, I've been with Kim at investigations where they're going through the history, and they say at that point it was almost destroyed, and we're looking at each other like, like how could anyone even dream of destroying this gorgeous historical building, right? But it happens all the time.
Even this
It
building
is up to
almost was eliminated at one point in time. Yeah.
Right.
It's amazing
Right.
how some of them survive and continue. And we've talked to people who literally had been in this location and had their wedding like 70 years before there, or like a birthday party, or like a veterans gathering of like this one of the group societies. I'm not going to think of one of the names right now. And they would have their dinners there like every Thursday.
Right.
So like a structure like this is not only, sure, there's spirits there, sure, there's a whole story there, but I mean, it's still very important in the community. And I love that we can highlight that in like the weirdo way, like the backwards, like spirit weird way.
That's us, the weirdos.
You could do that now. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you wouldn't be able to doing that.
Right, but
Bring it in
Anthony, you're right. It brings you back to what you were just saying. When we go to these investigations, the first thing Richard says is, if you see something, say something. Like we want, you to participate. We want,
inclusive.
And we're not going to judge you. The first thing Richard says is, if you say, I see a ghost cat in the corner, no one's going to judge you here. This is a safe space. And I think that teaches like a whole new generation of people not to be embarrassed about what used to be known as the supernatural, now the paranormal.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge shift actually in the paranormal community in general, is because before there was a very important emphasis on the technology because you have to prove it, right? And now there's a shift into your experience and not negating your experience for your experience. Sure, if we can combine your experience with the tools and technology and the history, 10 times better, right? But your experience is still your experience. And we definitely bring that into, especially our public investigations. There's no way I can say that your experience was not your experience.
Exactly. And this is something personally I've started to learn, because I was I have to prove it person. And a certain gentleman named Ron Iacovetti has changed my mind about that a little bit. But my experience is now my experience, and it doesn't have to be proven. Yeah.
Right.
Those of you who know him.
Nobody knows Ron. We never.
Who?
I never heard of him.
I have. We never talk about Jan Rock Giacovetti.
That's usually what I call
Jan.
And another example of
Ron?
somebody who's doing something so magnificent in the field of paranormal research.
Yes.
Okay. Proving the continuity of life and showing how spirit works, how doors just open when you're in this for the right reasons. Him, Tony Rathman, Cherie, Lourdes. I mean, they just went to Las Vegas.
I know.
To bring
You believe that?
I mean, Amazing. Spirit's going to be putting them in front of a large audience to experience Staticom and proof of the continuity of life. So, I mean, amazing. And this just goes to show you, when you're in this work, if you're doing it for the right reasons, you don't care about ego, you don't care about, press.
No.
It happens. Doors open, opportunities emerge because the spirit world is working with you.
Mm-hmm.
That is right. That is right.
And we're
that is
so
my
proud
sermon.
of them. Man,
It's so true.
I've been with them so many years now, so and it's what they've done and what they, from his big boom box, that big 70s boom box he used to carry around, and then all his device, then all of a sudden Staticom popped out, and it was like, holy cow, and I actually seen them grow from an infant to what they are now. I'm saying, I feel like a proud daddy.
You should.
It was great. I mean, when they brought it into the public house, go back to the public house, when they brought Staticom into the public house, I mean, the managers, the waiters, they were listening to what was coming out. Their minds were blown because this isn't a ghost box. This isn't a sweeping. This is true white noise, and these voices are coming through it.
Right.
And the managers were picking up things that were coming through. The staff were hearing things. The attendees were hearing names, their loved ones' names. So it wasn't even just stuff pertaining to public house. It was also their loved ones were coming through.
Yeah.
So again, this proves to us that our loved ones are truly only a thought away, and that consciousness is what links us. Like, we're there, we're listening to Staticom, and mom can come through. Dad can come through. It's not just spirits from the location. And that's it's mind-blowing to people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Kim, you have a couple of things here marked. The 1952 Lloyd. You want to talk about the basement thing?
Lloyd Fleming.
No, not yet. I don't think.
Okay.
But I want to stay upstairs, actually. And can we go back to that picture when we're all with the public group there? Because, Rich, you were bringing up the staff and you were bringing up the people who work there. And a lot of times, they're the ones that are actually giving us a lot of this firsthand experience, because it's hard to talk to people who have stayed there unless you go on to the deep, dark depths of the internet, which you will find people having and reporting their experiences, paranormal experiences, if you know where to look. But so the staff we talked to while we were there, as part of our pre-investigation, Rich and I did a pre-investigation to actually kind of feel the place out. And the room in the back that we were talking about, this white door in the background, and there's a hallway down there. This is room, I'm pretty sure it's either room 5 or 6. Don't quote me on that. But many people who stay there, and I think Raul, if he's still on, stayed in that room, report feeling the presence of a woman. Now, if you go through that door there, that white door, there's a laundry room, and then there's another door behind that goes to nowhere. It's like a storage area. And I'll tell you, the staff does not want, they don't go in there. They don't want to go in there. And when I walked in there, I was like, we got to get out. I don't know. There's something that's in that, and it's not friendly. It doesn't want us in there. But the staff has a hard time going in that area alone into the laundry room. So the staff at this location has definitely had experiences. So they were all really into our investigations there because they wanted to know what was going on and what helping them experience.
That's room 5.
Yeah, room 5. Okay, thank you. I was like, it's either 5 or 6, but thank you. Room 5. So if anybody's looking to stay for a paranormal night, recommend that one. And do we have any more of the upstairs hallways? The upstairs, because this will actually bring us into one of the other paranormal. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, that's good. Rich, or in the bedrooms. Rich, you want to talk about the bedrooms or like upstairs?
Yeah, the one when we first walked in, we went up to, I believe it was the second floor. We walked up with one of the managers, and the manager was talking to us, and immediately I know the both of us were picking up on young children, and young children like running up and down the hallways. I could almost hear their footsteps, just pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter. And I mentioned to the manager, I wanted to know if guests felt like they would put something down and then whatever they put down was moved, or they couldn't find their keys, and things would go missing. And I remember the manager was like, yes, it happens often here. And I felt it was the children. I felt that there were children there, young children, and they were running up and down the hallways. They were going into the rooms and just playing. I mean, they had this whole space all to themselves. And it's just a heavy, heavy sense of children. And Kim and I both talked about this. And Kim went home, like she always does, and she started to do her research. And I'll let you finish that.
Yeah, so doing the research on these locations, I like to go to the deeds. As fun as that may sound to everybody, it is quite entertaining. So I went to the deeds, and Anthony, you can pull up, it says Rankin Cemetery.
Cemetery? Which one was it? I have burial ground.
Okay, yeah, that one. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so I went back into the deeds, and as we were talking about the Rankin family, they bought this place, and it was a school for a little bit. And I also found out that the Rankins lost 3 of their young children while they were living on this property. Now, they were only there for 8 years, and they lost 3 children. One was 5, 3, and 2. And that was just about the ages of the children that we were kind of experiencing upstairs. They were young, but they were very mischievous. They just having a blast. They were not anything. They were just doing all these kind of moving things around, turning on water, opening doors, kind of like the mischievous, having fun with people. So I wanted to see if I could find, the family and the history of these children. Did anybody lose any young children while they were living here? And yes, in fact, the Rankin family did. But not only that, so in 2 different deeds, it talks about a cemetery that was, I can't read that anymore. I can't see that anymore, Anthony. So the 1962, the Rankins sold their property back to the Budd family and included a clause in the deed regarding the use of burying the dead of the family of William Rankin and for no other purpose or use whatsoever. So at some point, there was a burial ground on this property that was deeded to the next buyers for 2 different deeds. And then at that point, it fell off the deeds. So either the property wasn't included where the cemetery is anymore, or it was forgotten. Now, we don't know where the cemetery is. Nobody knows, not even the Chester Historical Society. They've looked for it also. Mm-hmm. So we believe that these 3 young children were buried on the property because they died there in this time frame. And we believe that these are the children that are causing mischief upstairs.
We just want themselves to be known. I mean, just by telling the story that there are children there, they're buried there. I would almost wonder if we went back now, if we would still pick up on that extreme activity of the children on the floor. Maybe it dissipated. Maybe they just wanted their story to be told. And I feel like this happens in a lot of locations where once you present the information, once you tell the story, once you convey what they're trying to get you to convey, sometimes it lessens the activity because then their presence is known, it's acknowledged. Sometimes put up a plaque on the wall that acknowledges something that's missing in the history. That services the spirit, that services, the spirit world. So,
well, in that back area, remember we were looking, we seen we could find the graves, and we were just doing our little investigation, and we couldn't really find it. But it was weird because when we went for dinner, remember that's the first time we went there. I'm not talking about the last time because they actually fed us. But the first time we went there, we went out to a diner, and then we came back. As I came back, I pulled into the lot in the back, and I seen the spirit of a man dressed in like an old railroad type of suit with the hat on, and he was standing in the lot in the back. I feel there's more people buried in the back of the place than just the children. I think the children have their own little section, but I think there's more burials back there. That's what I think.
Anthony, there's a cemetery back there, like a real big cemetery.
Is it?
So yes, it's true. Yes, there are more burials back there. You got it.
I got it. Hey.
No. But I also want to bring up. Do you have that picture, Anthony?
I have it. I drew it.
But Anthony, didn't you also see children out in the parking lot late at night when we were doing our investigation late?
Yes. See, I'm old, so I get my senior moments.
So he hangs with me. I remember everything.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Stop it.
Late at night, very late, after most people had left, but a few people stayed.
Yes.
Anthony was looking over my shoulder into the parking lot, and he said, "I see children out there." And I explained to him what you had said about the children's graves.
And that's the first time. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's as good.
Now I got to get my pen out, my pencil. See, that's what happens. I think I see things, and I forget about it, and then all of a sudden, something happens and it just jolts my memory, and then
it comes together.
And then I draw it again. Again, I'm getting old here, so.
Yeah, no. And
I remember those days up the
Todd
hill.
And Carmela were saying, couldn't they do ground penetrating radar? I say that, I think, at every single investigation that we go to.
Yeah, but that's very expensive. That's the whole thing. I was
just going to say, I always act like they could just whip it out and use it, but it's.
And then a business like that might be like, okay, if you do find something, you're busting up our parking lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's easy to think that way, because you want to find it.
I mean, cadaver dogs is the best way to go.
There you go.
I did talk to the New Jersey Historical Cemeterian man. There's actually a phone number and a contact.
No way.
Yes. And because I was asking him, I wanted to know where would they be likely to be buried in this place. So I told him where it was, the location, because those two roads at the corners have been there forever. Those aren't new roads. So I said, it's right on the corner of two main roads. Where could they have buried them? And he actually said, typically they would do it near the road. And if it's not near the road, then it's way off wherever. And I thought that was really interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know that they would have actually put it closer to the road in comparison to as far away from the road as you could.
Huh.
So maybe it's.
Because we thought at the beginning that back by those trees in the back, by the road, but there was trees they kind of crossed those trees, and there's three of them. So I thought, and that's why also, I had a feeling there's something there. Back in those days, when a child or somebody died, they were buried and they put a tree on their grave. And the interesting part is three trees in a row back there that possibly maybe they were graves at one time. Maybe they were graves and they put these trees on the grave. Because they used to put the trees on the grave because out of death, life comes. That's where the tree grows, because the roots go in the ground and into the body, whatever, and it will grow. So that's what I think.
Yeah, for them, it would have to have been 150-year-old trees. Those ones weren't old enough, but they could.
So not all trees get that big, too. It's depending on the type of trees, too. You know what I mean?
Mary Beth is asking, how old of a body could a cadaver dog locate? I do not know.
Years?
Hundreds of years.
Maybe 100 years?
Yeah, because I know they use them in Gettysburg to find stuff, too. And Gettysburg is I think they found some bodies out there on some of the properties.
Wow.
Has anyone ever seen one in action?
Yeah.
Richard, have you ever seen a cadaver dog working?
I've seen it on the shows that you would watch. Okay. They did it on Kindred Spirits once, or that. But again, it costs money to call a team to come in with the dogs or the ground penetrating radar, and it's
that's the question.
Wants that.
That's a good point, because if they use them for Gettysburg, I mean that's the Civil War. That would be right around 1860s, which is when these children passed away. is in the
Yeah.
1860s. So if they could
So,
find them at Gettysburg, I would
150 years,
imagine
probably.
yeah, I would imagine they could still find these children on this property somewhere as well.
If anybody in the audience knows, give us a shout out and let us know, because we're not sure ourselves.
And then let us know why you would know that.
Whoa, Google says up to thousands of years old bodies can be found with cadaver dogs.
Wow.
What?
Thousands of
Wow.
years.
You learned
I love
something
dogs.
on the show tonight,
I was
folks.
going to say, never say you didn't learn anything on this show.
See
Thousands
that?
of years.
Our audience teach us.
Thank you, Raul.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Well, my brain has exploded. Thank you.
Mine
That's good.
Yeah,
too.
thousands of years, man. That's incredible.
That is incredible. We didn't, I'm trying to think if we had any, we really didn't, in our investigations at the steakhouse, we didn't really have any youthful interactions where we were, but we were up, we were always on that second floor or third floor in the conference room.
We were on the
Or
third
in
floor.
the third floor. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. They always stick me up where there's all stairs and everything. I don't know.
That's right. We dragged them up the stairs.
Because you drag me up the stairs, but it's easier for me to come down because I could just fall down because come down faster.
But I don't think we had anything youthful. But I'm trying to think. No.
I know on the first floor when I went in for the first time, I felt that standoffish man. I felt him over by the bar. I drew him with like the mutton chops. And I feel like he's more of the observer. And a lot of people say like glasses get kind of thrown across the bar, stools kind of get pushed in and out. And I feel like he would be more of the observer. And I don't feel like he's that friendly. I feel like he's almost annoyed. And he wouldn't hurt you, but I just feel like there's that annoyance. Like, who are you people? And I feel like he's more of the observer on that first floor. And I sketch him. I think you have one of those sketches. But the man with the mutton chops, and that was like one of my first sketches that I did at the public house.
Oh, he's a little bit intimidating.
Yeah,
He looks like a bouncer almost.
and I place him kind of in that late 1800s. I would say, he's right in that Civil War time frame. And I would see him like working in a big man, big hands. Probably did other things too at the location. I feel like he just wouldn't have served beer. I feel like he would have handled a lot of things there. But he's that standoffish kind of person. Like, you got to get through. And I think a lot of the glasses moving, a lot of the glasses getting thrown is him.
Okay.
Well, they have video evidence of glasses being thrown.
Yeah. Last time we were there, when we were leaving, of course, we did our late night Satacom session, and Lisa and Nicole, they were leaving from Full Moon Paranormal. And so it was dark out. So I walked them out to the parking lot and stuff. But as we were going, by the bar, we heard it would sound like somebody standing, somebody walking behind the bar, sound like somebody walking up to the bar and going down. And then we heard glasses clanking.
Yes.
And only now I heard. Now you're saying that with the glass being tossed, and you're saying there's somebody intimidating. That was like. And then when I locked them out and I watched them go to their car, I'm coming back in, and I felt the presence there, and I just like okay, buddy, back off. I'm going back inside, and I just I went by, but I could feel something there too. So that's interesting. You were saying that. Because after I locked the door and I came back, I felt the presence there.
It was loud. We thought somebody was there for sure. We heard like shuffling and movement and like glasses, and
we went back there too, Jenny. You were with me then too. Okay.
Yeah, we thought for sure someone living was back there, and somebody was there. Yeah, it was really loud.
That was interesting. Oh wow, and I'm learning something from you guys.
I did not know that at the time. So.
Yeah, I'm just first hearing this. Okay, anyone here? I'm trying to see. What's this here? What's this? It's been missing for 50 years. Okay.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear.
Such a long time.
Yeah, but so okay, we got some evidence, some stuff that went on there that night. Um, before I go into it, Kim, you want to talk about anything else with the the Fleming family?
What
I got
evidence are you about
pictures.
to show, Anthony?
Huh?
What evidence are you about to show?
I was gonna show well, some of the stuff that happened upstairs. Jenny showed me.
Yeah, let's do more upstairs. Yeah.
Okay. This was
I have some stuff from the conference room from one of our events. We
yeah.
did the SG session.
On this one, if you want to explain it with Chris, Jen,
Yes.
I'll put it on. I'm gonna
Absolutely.
explain it, then I'll put it on.
Okay, so we did an SG session, and what we always do is completely remove someone. So in this case, you saw that long hallway with the brick at the end, the chairs there. We had somebody facing out the window, listening to the noise canceling headphones and just saying what they heard through an SB7 spirit box. Now, while they were looking out the window, Chris, is he a manager?
Yes.
He walked in and sat down, and I was in the doorway, sort of relaying what they said, just in case we couldn't hear on the microphone. We have a microphone that we can hear in there, but just in case, the wireless. So I was listening, and I sort of let him in, shut the door, and as soon as he came in and sat down, something came through about him on the spirit box.
Ooh.
Now, this person would never have known his name or who he was, but they were looking out the window at the time.
Chris?
And the bell right away.
Oh, which Chris?
Wow.
Is there a Chris here?
Oh,
Chris.
That's the general manager.
I know, I couldn't see him. I didn't know.
Her husband, Chris.
You're both Chris's?
Yes.
Oh, Chris, how'd that feel?
Chilling. It rained, rain.
He's here all the time.
I know, I just didn't see him come in. I'm sorry. Wow, Chris.
Well, maybe that's what's coming. Chris. He's here. There it is.
But
Chris is here. There you are.
But I love when the bell rings at the same time. It's
here too.
Yeah.
So Hugo's.
That's great.
The dead
so
bell,
great.
the Cocos.
Yes,
Yeah.
he came in, he sat down, and the woman at the end goes, Chris? And he looks up, and then the bell goes ding.
Chris Cesare said, "Did somebody call me?"
Oh, it's so
Hey,
funny.
Chris.
And there were two Chris's in there, but and just before it said, he's coming.
That's
exactly.
we called you, Chris.
Yep.
See that we played that one just for you, Chris. That's how we got you on.
Hi, Chris. Chris is everywhere.
What's up,
it was
man?
So,
Another
just
amazing
before it.
person in the field.
Oh,
Absolutely.
we love Chris.
Great individual.
When I first started getting out there and stuff, Chris was one of the first people that friended me, and we've been friends since. He's such a great guy. I went to a lot of his stuff through the years. Yeah. So.
But the timing and relevance of that was
Mhm.
crazy.
Right.
He had just come in, sat down, and I believe just before that, it had said something like, it's coming, or something, or it's coming. And that's why the woman said, maybe that's who was coming.
And then on the essays, because you said Chris, because you were relaying what you were hearing from the hallway.
That was actually the woman saying Chris, not me.
Oh, it sounded like you.
Yeah.
Now that was the woman with the headphones.
Anyway,
That was
that was the
on
woman
the wireless.
Yeah, because
who was doing
we have the wireless.
Chris, that she heard on the
Because we have the wireless box, the speaker on the that was in front of me, and she was on the hallway down the hall. So everything is wireless. So she doesn't know what's in the room. She can't hear our questions. So she's on her own, and she said Chris, and it came through the speaker. It sounded like she was in the room, but it came through the speaker. And this guy just walked in, so that was pretty interesting how that went.
I think he became a believer really quickly if he wasn't before.
He did become a believer after
You could
that
see him
night.
just
He sat in
shiver.
all of our rooms and was like, "What?"
A lot of those
Um,
attendees do at the end. They're like, "Wow, our mind is blown. The evidence is amazing." And
Yeah, and we're not doing, there's no tricks when we're in these places. I mean, if spirit shows up, spirit shows up. And I'm going to tell you, each time at the public house, spirit has shown
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. And the staff, any of the staff you talk to always said something. We had that one waiter, remember, Jenny?
Yeah.
Yes.
And he was coming in serving drinks, because at the time they were serving drinks as we were doing our little investigation and stuff. And the guy come in, put the drink down, and run out. And I'm like, you can stick around. No. I'm out of here.
they no part. Yeah.
You are no part of it. Put the drink down and ran out. It was so funny. He didn't even want to wait for the money. You know, that was
People have
great.
that feeling though about the paranormal. Like it totally scares them. You know, the idea that you're communicating with something beyond the veil just is scary stuff for them.
Yeah.
Or, to be fair, he works there.
Yeah, and he said, did say that he's seen enough stuff.
I should have leaned into him and said, "Spirits around everyone and everything."
Everywhere.
He would have quit that day. You kidding? Okay.
It's not just here, my friend. It's everywhere. You know.
Oh, that's
Um,
nice.
Scare the kids, Richard. Don't scare the kids, Rich.
Yeah.
I got one in here marked. Another one of yours, Jenny, the K2 with the bell.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'll play this one.
Are the children in bed that we heard downstairs?
I heard yes. I don't know if they're actually saying what they're hearing.
I can't tell if it's a voice answering us.
Are the children in bed?
I don't know if it'd be
I think he's saying no.
crap.
Anybody ring that bell for us? What'd you get?
My name.
You got your name?
My name never comes across anything.
Your name is Carmela.
And it spells it with 2 L's.
What?
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he got Anthony on this.
Earlier,
Well, we're the
not just
Sopranos.
now. Yeah. And
What are the chances? Look at my K2 meter. Nobody's noticing it but me.
No,
Yes, thank
There you
you.
go.
Someone else is noticing it.
Do you want us to move the K2 next to the?
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah.
that was the obelisk that you had in your hand, and Carmela as well. And on hers it said Carmela with 2 L's, and yours said Anthony.
Mm-hmm. At the same time.
Yeah.
So the obelisk. That's another nice piece of tool that we use. You know.
Right.
So yeah, we got that. So we got more evidence here. I
That
just got.
conference room was lit up, man. I mean, Carmela, what are the chances?
You want to talk about these drawings, Rich? I got I guess these were in the basement.
Those were the ones I did in the basement for, I think, the sessions. As the sessions were coming down and people were coming down into the basement, I started letting spirit come in. This is, I feel like, one of the children. It's one of the male children. I saw him with the overalls. And again, just like with the arms out, like running and very much present. I feel like they had like the run of the place. I feel like they're all over. I just don't think they're in just one location. And again, it was a very quick sketch. Each session I think we did was like 35 minutes. So this was something I just showed them how spirit art happens, how I can connect with the spirit and get it down on that paper to convey the essence, what they wore, the way they looked, the way their hair was. And that is the sketch of one of the boys. And I think the other one is of a woman. I would place her again in that like 1970s like period. Again, I felt her very much in the place, not just in the basement. I felt that she was in multiple places, especially in one of the rooms. I felt that there would be this female with the shoulder length hair, and she would be more of the person to come and like touch. I feel like she would be more of the inspector to kind of like make the bed, pull the spreads up, and she would be more in those rooms. But she wouldn't just stay there. I feel like she would be throughout. But her main thing was always like making sure everything was tidy. The bed sheets, definitely the bed sheets, the pillowcases, and that's where I feel like people might experience our tidying up. If you're in bed, I feel like you might feel our fussing with the sheets, with the comforter. So I wanted to get her down on paper. And again, like I said, these are quick sketches. They're happening within, 15, 20 minutes as I'm there. And I just wanted to demonstrate mediumship spirit art and how face appears, and that helps us with the investigation.
Well, I'd like to go back to Richard, the other one, the 14,
Right.
the kid.
I had a question about that too.
Go ahead, Jenny. Go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Thank you. I noticed that you actually are capturing almost like not just, you really have an expression. Like this child looks happy.
Yeah.
Like this child looks, and that's what I love about your drawings. They're not just a likeness, but you really get the feeling of their emotion or their temperament.
And that's conveyed through feeling. Like when I see the image, it's how I feel when I'm putting it down on paper. And I feel like that also conveys if they're sad, if they're happy. Sometimes if the person was just like a no expression kind of, I would just do like their mouth is pretty much a line, where they're not smiling, they're not frowning, but it's just seriousness. And I try to capture that. And for him, I don't feel like there's sadness there. I don't feel like, woe is me. I don't feel sad. I just feel like they enjoyed it. It's a place that they loved being in life and in death. I mean, their consciousness is what's linking them there. When they want to be there, they can be there. They can roam those hallways that they did as children. And especially when we go there and we want to communicate with them, it's, oh wow, there's people here and they want to hear from us. They have tools that we can use to communicate with. And that's what brings them there. I don't feel like these children are stuck in there. I don't feel like they're, in this purgatory of the public house. They're just stuck in these, walls. It's when we go there, we want to communicate with them, and that's our phone call to the other side. And it's up to them if they want to answer. And with the right intention and with the right, respect, they meet us halfway and we can get the evidence. We can do what we do. We connect with our mediumship. We connect with our intuition. We connect psychically. That's what connects us, is that intention. And you can see here, I mean, I'm happy that people that they did not know how mediumship spirit art works, they saw it done right before them. A blank piece of paper becomes a child captured, with the essence, the facial, the outfit, and the story.
Yeah.
Well, what I wanted to bring up was that this looks like a working child to me, this looks like a working outfit. And I was curious, why did you darken the background on this one? You don't normally darken the background.
Right.
It was such a large piece of white paper. I wanted the image to pop off of the page for the people in the basement to see. But also, you point out a good thing. I wanted to kind of show like soot and like dirt. And again, I feel like you said, he might have maybe gotten dirty. He might have, helped with coal. Like there's something like that too. Where like the shoveling of coal, and the coal, the charcoal image pop. But also, you can see his cheeks. They're not clean cheeks either. There's some charcoal on the cheeks. So yeah,
which I know that about you and your drawing, which is why I'm bringing this out, because it is actually historically relevant. So there were mines in the back of this building. There were multiple mines very close. And actually, they had many miners and working in the area, and miners did stay in this hotel. Well, they basically like rented out rooms. And it was common that children would work in the mines in the area, especially in Morris County. And also, interestingly, this is a fun fact, there was an explosion in the mine.
Fun fact.
Fun fact.
Fun fact.
nobody got injured except a poor horse died. But anyway, I'm not gonna
Oh
do
no.
that. But
No, not the horses.
I know, but it was so close to the building. This is where I want to get into this. I was so close to the building was in the explosion. The back windows of the hotel actually were busted out. So that's how close the mines were in the back.
Wow.
Yeah, it blew out some windows.
That's incredible.
That's interesting.
No.
Yeah.
And Richard,
So
does this child go around the whole hotel, or just did you see him in one? Because Todd Coco asked, that the background seems like a brick wall. Is there a particular room that you feel like he stays in?
I feel like they're all around that location. I think
All of them, not just that woman.
No,
Okay.
He's not just in that basement. He's not in that brick basement. He's not in, he's everywhere. But when we were down in that basement and I open up to them, it's the images that start coming in is the strongest one that I start to draw first.
That's incredible.
Boy, girl, and on that initial one, it was the bartender. That man at the bar who was that standoff man.
Scary man.
But they did use a lot of children also to shovel coal down the basements and stuff like that because there was no child law, and they would stick them down there because of their size and everything, they could get in smaller areas, and they shoveled coal, and of course in the mines they put them in mines to get into little areas and stuff. That's why children are used a lot.
Rockaway Township here with the mining. I mean, if a father died, it was up to the oldest child to earn a living for the family. So the child would then have to resume the work that dad did. So if it was in the iron mines, that child is going down into the iron mines to earn a living for his family. And if they earn a living that way, then his second oldest brother will be going to join. So I mean, there were children that really weren't experienced as these adults that had to do mining, that had to go for the iron ore, and
that's right.
Hazardous conditions.
Yeah.
So
That's
think back,
interesting.
no child labor laws. I mean, only imagine.
How old do you think that child was?
I would feel like around 11, 12.
Okay.
That's
I was going to say 12.
That's
your drawing is so good. I was going to say 12 just from looking at it. So amazing.
Todd and Camilla shared one of their TikTok things with us that happened to you, Richard, me, and Jenny when you came up and you took your picture. Remember that? Here we go. I'm going to play that. I want to thank them. Todd and Camilla, thank you very much for sharing. They're great people, and we love to have them around.
You guys are awesome.
This is so funny.
222. Here we go.
It's very funny.
And then wait till mention.
Want to get a picture with
You know I do.
With my two peeps.
With the, I want it to be
good looking people.
jacket, the brown jacket.
But again, I want everybody to make their stuff louder because it's kind of low. StreamYard is not. I have no control over volume. So if you want to listen to this, just up the volume on your speakers, please. Now I'm going to play it again. Here we go.
This is before.
Want to get a picture with
You know I do.
With my two peeps.
With the, I want it to be
good looking
brown
people.
jacket,
Jenny
the brown jacket for love.
Ready? 1, 2.
What? 1, 2. What? Did you hear that?
You were in front of it. I think that's on.
Oh. Is it a live photo?
Let's do it again.
That is wild.
If it is, you need to send it to me because I need evidence.
1, 2, 3. That is wild.
Ready? One
I love that.
Okay, spirits, we're going to do another photo. I'm going to take one with my friends.
It would take it over.
Ready? I'm going to say, you do it at 3. 1, 2, 3. No? No.
It's a delay, but they did it. They did.
And you have to have it on there now.
Yeah, I got over here. I'm out of the way.
I think Todd put that on. And then wait till mention.
Playful.
Over and over.
And I remember I
Playful
also took
spirit.
other pictures. I remember I took other pictures because I'm like, maybe it's me pressing the photo. I'm taking a photo. Maybe that's what's triggering the dead bell. It didn't work like that. They literally 1, 2, 3, bing. It was crazy.
I mean, when you said let's try it again, I'm thinking, no way. No way in a million years is that going to happen again. It was just coincidence or something like that, straight EMF. But then, and you're like, no, ding.
Intelligence. I mean, that really establishes intelligence.
That's awesome, and I'm glad that they left their
Camera. I know.
I'm glad they left the camera running in there because I had a camera in there. I didn't even turn it on at that time for whatever reason.
I know. I screamed. I go, ah! And just FYI, I actually have it on video. I went in there later by myself and tried it again, and nothing.
That was a good.
No,
good piece
they
of
were
evidence.
having fun. They're very playful up there on the upstairs. They're very playful, very innocent. They love it. That probably made their night, right? Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
That was awesome. Yeah, that was cool. Even I was like, whoa, that was cool.
That was funny. Thank goodness we had the camera on, and I'm yelling at you to get out of the way. I'm so sorry, but I was so excited.
No, I mean,
I'm like, I think they
you wanted to see my fat butt in the middle of everything. I'm kidding. It looks like an eclipse going in there. It was a full moon that night. It seemed like.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that was awesome. You just come in and say, let's take pictures. Hey, let's take pictures. 1, 2, ding. It was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. The Dead Bell always gets stuff all the time.
And you try to debunk it. I mean, like I said, after that, we took other photos to see if it was just pressing the photo button, if that was triggering the bell.
Yeah.
It didn't happen. It only happened those 2 times that we have it documented, and it didn't happen again. So
I put my phone against it and see if it went off. I tried a bunch of different things.
Me too.
And it was interesting how it was like on command.
Cheeky.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Very
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have fun. It's okay to have fun. If you're new to this field, it's okay to enjoy yourself in an investigation. I mean,
laughter raises the vibration.
Exactly. I mean, if you're
good.
a spirit, do you want to see people coming in all angry and no, of course not. What do we love in life? We love laughter and family and friends, right? That's what would you want to see again?
Good night, Adam. Thank you for showing up.
Adam, thank you for being here again. Adam's a faithful watcher.
Yeah.
Thank you, Adam. Have a good night, brother.
I think everybody's going to sleep now.
Good night, sweetheart.
Really?
There we go. We could do a doo-wop band here.
Doo-wop, yeah.
You sing, Kim?
What?
Do you sing?
Do I sing?
She sings in her car.
Yes, I do sing in my car a lot.
With the windows closed. Thank you.
That's really where no singing.
Yeah.
But I would love to go back down to the basement of the
Yes,
house.
let's.
Because we're talking about these spirits that are free roaming and moving around, but I do feel like there is a gentleman down in the basement who does not move around, and he is pretty much just in the basement. And it was brought to our attention. Well, I walked down into the basement and I immediately felt this man's presence, middle-aged, and he wasn't very talkative. And he didn't want to tell me why he was down there. So when I communicate with spirit, I like to have a conversation. That's what ends up usually happening if they're intelligent or and want to communicate. So I'm communicating with him, and he does not really want to tell me why he's down there. He doesn't really want to tell me. It's mystery. Why are you here, sir? And this was actually one of the major reasons why they had us come, because so many people were having experiences in the basement who work there. People were getting pushed down the stairs. People were hitting a wall going up the stairs. People workers didn't want to go down into the basement. So I don't know if we had, you want to tell the story of one of the times you were down there, Rich?
Is this the cell phone one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
So we're down in the basement. It's Kim and I. For the times we do investigate there, most of the time we wind up in the basement. Our station is in the basement. So we got very familiar with public house basement. So we're down there, I would say like 20 people, like really crammed into the basement. And we explain like how our communication works. And one of the gentlemen sitting a few rows towards the back wall of the basement actually has his phone go off. And the phone goes off, and we almost thought it was a ringer or something that he had on, because it sounded like this robotic voice that was like dictating something. It was like wah, 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 wah. And Kim and I, we look at each other. Everyone there is like jumping because this came out of nowhere. He was ready to take his iPhone and throw it. That's how we knew that it wasn't something that he had on that phone.
Oh my
He
God.
was, and he had maybe a few drinks in him too. So he was ready to take that phone and just throw it across. He freaked out.
Yeah.
He goes, what? And we looked at each other. We're like, that's so cool. Like they used his cell phone to try to voice themselves for everyone down in everyone down in that basement. And it was a moment where everyone just looked at each other. The hair rose up on our arms, and hearing that robotic voice come through the cell phone. They used the cell phone, and that dictation, that robotic wah, 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 that just freaked everyone out.
It was bizarre.
It's something I'll never forget.
Oh,
It was
wow.
That's awesome.
never forget. And we asked him, because a lot of people come to these and they'll have like their phone apps on, and they're the paranormal apps on the phone that'll do like basically what the Ovilus does, but on their phone. And we're like, oh, do you have that on? And he said, no. And I was like, is your phone on speaker? Like, were you talking to somebody? You know, some people have their, headphones in and they're on like FaceTime or whatever. And he said, no, he wasn't on anything. And I'm going to tell you, it was loud. The phone lit up. It was loud and unexplainable. I've never heard a phone do that. I have never heard a phone do that since. If somebody would let me know if their phone has ever done that before, I would love to know. But it was really, it was bizarre. It was absolutely bizarre.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
That's
intense.
That's great.
It takes a lot of
creepy as
energy to
anything.
do that.
This is why we're going to convince you both to start wearing body cameras.
Yeah, body cams. We gotta
You're
get you
not
guys
wrong.
body
We
cams.
should.
You
We
don't
should.
have
No,
to
you're
wear
right.
it front and back like Anthony, but you can just wear it. Well, I'm telling you, that body
I wear
camera
his earrings.
saved me. He
Yeah,
does.
you're right. You're
He
right.
does. Because everything like that happens will always be captured. Anything you turn and see will be seen. Like, it's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
And
You
then
know,
if
the
you don't want
greatest
to carry it
resolution.
here, you always could take it like I do. I take it off sometimes, and I just pan the room. You just pan the room back and forth, and you can pick up stuff also. You know,
Right.
so if you don't want to always carry it here, you can use
But
it
it's
as
that quick
actually,
stuff,
and it's
right?
small enough that you can put it in your pocket. You know, it's
Yeah.
like smaller than cell phones half the time. So
It's so true, because like I don't want to do anything when I'm at an investigation, because I'm really tuned in. Like I'm pretty darn focused on what I'm experiencing and what I can share and help with.
Yeah.
And I don't want to stop that and start taking pictures of things. So you're right. Having a camera actually would be really good for me to.
Yeah, I just pin it on my jacket, and there you go.
Yeah.
You're good to go.
Right.
See, cell phones too. I had a couple of incidents in the past. I was doing an investigation with Ronald Lourdes at Elks Club down in Jersey, and the woman that we were doing it with, Sandy Farley, she owns Haunts Fashion Magazine, and she's across us. I have a psychic next to us, and we're doing a little session. All of a sudden, her phone starts ringing. Like, my hands are here. I'm talking. You know me. I talk with my hands. If you tie my hands, I can't talk. So I'm talking with my hands. Her phone rings. She goes, Anthony, you're calling me. I said, well, how am I calling you? Here's my phone. My phone's back here.
And you didn't call her, like you didn't butt dial her?
No, 'cause I had the phone locked. It wasn't like one of those old phones where you could butt dial. You know, it wasn't a butt dial, nothing. And then
weird.
On her phone, on my phone, it shows that I did call her, but her phone's like, because her husband's name's Anthony also, so she thought it was her husband. But it goes, my name, Anthony Spinelli, was like, how'd you do that? was like, I didn't. My hands are here.
Amazing.
Plus, I couldn't put that on you
Magic.
because I used to carry it in a case on the side of me. So it wasn't a case. It wasn't even like in my pocket or anything, you know?
Wow.
So it was interesting how that, and then I got other things in the past. So, iPhones, I always seem to get stuff on. I had one that I think it was haunted. I'll play that for you guys.
Here we go. The haunted iPhone.
Yeah. I said it's going to be a new podcast, a new
Watch
show,
out,
the
Hollywood. It's going to be a movie.
haunted iPhone.
You mentioned it.
I
20th
have had
Century
my
Fox
iPhone
presents
turned
the
on and
haunted
off,
iPhone.
turn on and off
Yeah,
twice.
that's the new iPhone, the haunted iPhone.
No,
Haunted
I mean,
iPhone
like,
15.
in an investigation. But then when it gets old, it does the same thing. But in an investigation, I've had it turn on and turn off and had like batteries drained.
So
Yeah.
we
So
have.
that was pretty crazy. But
But
Sorry
so
about my ghost cat. It's a ghost cat.
Aw, yeah. But so one thing about who we believe is down there, who we believe is down in the basement, and why
Yeah.
this was really incredible and helped validate so many people who worked there and our experiences down there is, Anthony, if you want to pull up, it says Fleming. I think it says Fleming.
Fleming.
Maybe it says Fleming.
Man, I have a woman here.
Man basement, something basement.
Oh my goodness. Right enough.
But I have a. Is it a? It's a basement with the writing. It's
Yeah,
not a picture.
it's an article, a newspaper article.
Okay. All right. It's an article.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, we covered Richard. There we go.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So who we
Where'd
actually
he go?
believe is down in the basement is this man, the energy, the spirit of a man named Lloyd Fleming, who died in the basement of the public house in 1952. He actually was an owner of it, but at the time that they found him in the basement, he actually was not the owner, and it had been abandoned for a year. So they don't know why he went into the basement. As you can see here, this is the article about it. He died from a heart attack, of what they suspect, but he had been dead for several days. And the state troopers could not figure out, this is down at the bottom, could not figure out how he had gained entrance or why he went back into the old hotel or why he went into the basement. So the plot thickens a little bit. So a family member of Mr. Fleming, of this man, actually recently dined at the PH Steakhouse and was talked to the owners or the manager at the time right now. And they were communicating that this was I think it was her great grandfather, and they were sharing stories. And she even asked the family member why this man went into the basement, and the family never knew. They never found out why he would have gone back down into the basement. So it is quite a mystery. But what's so amazing about this is that this can help explain why people are having these experiences down there. It's not yet, it doesn't necessarily have to be, but it can help explain why they're having these experiences.
How did he die?
On
Heart
autopsy,
attack.
it was a heart attack.
And at the bottom of the stairs, right?
I don't know where exactly, but it was in the basement.
Okay, I don't know why I thought that. Okay, so I know you said people get pushed down the stairs. Maybe that's why I was thinking that.
Yeah.
So we have Mary Beth said maybe something was buried there. Maybe he had left something there, buried something there, or
It's possible.
Very possible. It does feel very unfinished to me with this gentleman. When I communicate with him and when I experience him, I do feel like there's something that's very not right, unfinished. I don't know if he went to get either money that was buried or alcohol or something like that. He definitely doesn't want to share. But we love going back down there because we keep asking, like, Mr. Fleming, why are you here? And sometimes we get responses, but sometimes we don't get them from him.
Yeah.
So
the DR60 would be fun. down there in the basement. I'd be interested
Right.
in what comes through with like that device. I mean, we've used Phasma Box, we used our digital recorders, but I think it would be interesting to, if we're ever back down there again, to do a DR60 session.
We did do a DR60 session down there with
Did you? Tim
yeah,
Dalton.
we did. What?
With Tim Dalton, correct?
Yes. Yeah, we
Yes.
did go back down there as part of the VIP part of that night. We did go back down there and do some DR60 sessions. I can't recall what came up, so it would be really great to do it again. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I got
maybe
another
we get
piece
to
of
be in the
evidence.
basement.
We're starting to get running out a little bit of time here. It's
Oh.
almost quarter to. So there's one piece that one of our close friends sent us, or is letting us use. We got Staticom session, and the name William comes through. So thank you to Ron and Lourdes for letting us use this. And here we go. I'm just going to play it.
So if you're Jenny, who are you looking for?
It hurts Lourdes, which is my name. It hurts Lourdes, which is Who are you here for, Jenny?
Richard. Wow,
What is your son's name?
Did you say William?
Yes. Yes.
I'm not sure.
If you said William, please repeat it.
That was clear.
Oh, that was clear.
Is that his name?
William, that was
That's his
clear.
name, and he's out there.
Incredible.
Isn't it?
I never get tired
I
listening to
remember that.
That's just
Well, I haven't seen that piece of evidence before, but if we want some history relevance to that. So William Rankin was the gentleman who bought the house, the location, and made it a school. His son is named William and is one of the children who died, is of the 3 children who are there.
Wow.
So this is why it's so amazing
That's cool.
because he would be trying to communicate with his son, William.
And they call him Willie.
Interesting.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
the nickname. Hey Willie. You know,
That's
like
It was
so cute. I love
so
that.
clear and so repetitive. But didn't we not also have someone in the crowd who's had a
Oh.
family member come through?
Do
Do you remember that,
There was a
Richard?
man in the crowd that did claim it, but
Oh.
it's possible that,
Was that William?
I mean, I'm not sure, because a lot of names came out, and that people
Yeah.
heard different things and stuff like that. And then, of course, when they go back, they listen in and they hear what it really said. Because how many times we do Satacom, we hear something come up, and everybody's like, "Oh," and then you listen back, it's like, "Oh no, this is what it really says."
Yeah.
But that's
Right.
an interesting session. I'm so happy that Ron and Lourdes let us use that. They heard Richard coming to the show. They'll give anything. Anything for Richard.
So true.
it's just amazing of how clear Staticom is and how it's different than a sweep box. I mean, it's a conversation that's happening, and you can hear that. It's spirit coming through and having a conversation. They corrected themselves, Willie, William. I mean, it's just amazing. I can never get like I said, I can never get tired of listening to Staticom. I think we all could just sit there for hours on end and just
It's a problem. It's kind of a problem.
I was gonna say it's a problem at 3 a.m. when he's doing it on live Facebook, and my husband's like, "Who are you talking to?" I'm like, "Just quiet, listening to Staticom."
I gotta listen. I gotta
Okay.
focus.
So okay, I'm not crazy. there was a guest in attendance named William. I really think that was his mother.
Oh.
Yeah, I do. I think that was one of the times where it was, the guest said, you know what? Like, they don't always like to come forward. It was like, that was my mom. Yeah. Which goes to show you what Richard said is true with the consciousness, right? Like if you have a guest there.
Yeah, that was also a time where I drew a number on
Yes.
notepad, held it up, and through Staticom, we get the number that I'm holding. Number 8, I think it was, and then you heard 8 come through Staticom.
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, I remember
Which is intelligence. I'm holding up a number. Someone from Staticom repeats what I'm holding up. Where's that coming from? So
every
coming
time
from awareness.
Yeah.
Consciousness.
It's
problem.
something. So, Richard, we're coming. We got
a little time.
I don't want to go.
I just want to show some of the stuff that Richard's going to be doing.
I even almost wore my brown jacket for you guys.
Brown jacket.
The brown jacket. I'm a little sad.
The brown jacket. Yeah, you definitely got to get that brown jacket. I got to get one of those brown jacket clones.
Well,
I feel like
Christmas is coming.
Yeah,
like
they get a brown jacket
full of brown jackets. I can see Richard going into the closet with like 7 brown jackets perfectly lined up. He's like, which brown jacket tonight?
Yeah.
We make fun because Richard always looks very sharp. We've got our sweatshirts on and hoodies and stuff, and he always looks so sharp in his jacket.
Yeah. So, Richard, I'm going to show some of this stuff if you want to talk about it. You got a thing with Lily.
Lisa Morrison. Yeah, we're going to be doing Soul University. We're very excited about this. This is going to be an online and also in-person class that we're going to be teaching on all aspects of metaphysics, mediumship, psychic, your intuitiveness. And I'm excited to partner with Lisa because we do these mediumship events. We do them in the Hudson Valley by, in Lisa's area. And it's just great to have the attendees come up and they want to learn. They want to learn about mediumship. They want to learn about having the ability to do it. And we're on the same page. We both feel that an ability and anybody can do it. So we're looking forward to this, to be able to, teach, be able to share the experiences that we have had, the teachers that we learned from, and to have a class, whether it's in person or online, where I can teach spirit art, symbolism, how to embrace your intuitive side, how to, just embrace mediumship and learn how to use it and be competent at it. So I'm very excited to partner with Lisa and present this. And then we also are working on a podcast, but a podcast that would just feature the metaphysics and really like past lives, psychics, mediums, healers, and really delve into that aspect of things. And, people that I've worked with on book projects and bring them on to talk about how they approach, the world of the paranormal and mediumship. And it's just great. And having that ability to work with somebody that you're on the same page with, like how we all are on the same page, a lot of our beliefs, the perspectives that we share. So through the podcast, through our classes that we're going to be teaching, is just telling everybody like we all have the ability to do this. We all have the ability to trust our intuition. I always say, we all say we had a gut feeling about something. Well, get gut out of the way. What did you have? You had intuitive knowing that something was good for you or something was wrong for you, or you should have went home a different way and you chose another way and, you avoided an accident or something very bad. We all have that. And if we start leaning into it and we trust it more, we embrace that intuitive side of us that we all have, and once we tell people that you're able to do this, a shift happens, a total shift happens, because then you start realizing that the world is more magical than you think. Symbolism, our loved ones are around us. Death doesn't separate us. We're always in communion with those on the other side. It's just different. We lose the physical, right? But the spiritual, that soul consciousness can still be communicated with. And you saw that through these clips here tonight, through Staticom, through these responses, through these stories. Like when we talk about them, they have the will to communicate with us and show us that there is that continuity. So through all my endeavors, whether I'm doing paranormal evenings or whether I'm doing my mediumship or I'm channeling, that's something I started this year because of Kim. She gave me, like I always say, she gives me a kick in the pants, and she's like, "Hey, listen, like
I'm good for that. I'm good for the kick in the pants.
She is.
Everyone.
She is.
And and that's again, people come into your life for certain reasons, and it just it just unfolds. Our journey keeps continuing, and I keep learning, I keep growing. I will be the first one to say I don't know everything, but if you want to sit down and talk to expand your knowledge, I would love to do that. I would love to tell you everything that I know, because maybe it helps you on your journey. Maybe you don't have to read, the 550 books that I'm circled with, that I'm encircled with right now, and it might help like you on your path. And if I could tell you things that I've learned, I mean, that's great, just to depart that wisdom, and that knowledge. And that's why I think we're all in this, for that true power unit. We are contributing to that collective from the beginning of when we were talking, that paranormal collective. How do we push it forward instead of dragging it backwards, with negativity and, ego, and just how do we positively contribute to that? And I think it's by teaching, it's by sharing lessons, it's by working together. It's by sharing these perspectives. You might not agree with everything that I agree with, but it's fine, and we need to embrace our differences. And truly, with working with one another is how we expand this and how we positively let it grow. So I love the opportunity to work with new people. I love the opportunity to listen to other people's ideas. To sit there and listen to Ron and Lourdes talk about how Staticom works and the philosophy behind it. It's not just about the voices; it's about the philosophy. Like how is this happening? How are they communicating with us? How does consciousness work? How do they communicate on the other side of the veil with us? How does symbolism work? How does the other side communicate if they don't have a voice? So it's learning this language, it's learning these new tools, these tactics, learning these different devices, and continuing to grow and learn and share. And that's I think at the top of it, we need to share with one another instead of just saying this is mine. I think the sharing is very important too. So
I just want to show, because we're running out of time here, so I want to show you a couple of things. You have a book coming out.
Yes.
I want to show that.
Christmas.
Spirits of the Yuletide by Beyond. It's coming out early. It's coming out this Thursday. I'm so excited. So it'll be available on Audible, Kindle, and you can get the physical copy on Thursday.
It's awesome.
And you can pre-order it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pre-order it.
Because I have. Yes.
Somebody in your family wants a book that's great to read. Richard he's a very great writer, so I would recommend this very much. I'll get it on Audible, but we'll get it.
It's exciting for me to share these Yuletide stories, because the Yuletide is the darkest time of the year, and we also have Samhain and All Hallows Eve as being when the veil is thinnest. Well, the pagans, I mean, right from the beginning, believe that the spirits of our ancestors are around us through the Yuletide, and the promise of bringing the evergreen trees in, and the promise of looking at green, right? That spring will come again. There will be a renewal, and all these things that we started doing as kids. It has such more deeper meaning, and it goes far back beyond Christianity into pagan beliefs. And you start seeing like how they believe that our ancestors are there, and we do certain things to embrace that and carry that tradition with us. Because back then, we were hunkering down together to get through the roughest time of the year, the coldest time of the year, where people might not make it to spring because of the cold and the starvation. And it's really a scary time of year. And in the Victorian era, which I wrote about in the book, also is the telling of ghost stories. So we think of ghost stories, we think of Halloween, but in the Victorian era, ghost stories became part of our Christmas tradition. And in A Christmas Carol, Dickens truly embraced that.
Yep.
And you get the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future, and Jacob Marley. And it's just so interesting to me. So I interwoven that into my mediumship beliefs of the Yuletide. So it's a book that truly encapsulates everything about the Yule, and also our connection to those on the other side of the veil, especially during the Christmas season. And I also included some personal Christmas stories of my own in that book from my family, of my loved ones that aren't with us physically. And in the book, for a special bonus, are some cherished family recipes from our past Christmases.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome. That sounds really, really good.
Thank you.
And you're already starting your next book. I'm going to show that too.
Yes.
Okay, because we got about 5 minutes left. I just want to make sure
Paranormal
everything's shown.
Dharma. This is funny.
Book number
this is like
10.
Number 10.
This will be the 10th book, and I'm about 90% done with it. Paranormal Dharma. And I kind of laugh with this one because it's almost like my self-help book for the paranormal, if that makes sense. And I was more than honored to have Jenny Colucci write the foreword of Paranormal
Yay.
Dharma. Someone I really respect, somebody I love to work with, and I figured this was a perfect book for her to contribute a forward to. This is a book that goes into letting go of ego, working together as a team, my personal philosophies of how do we communicate with spirit, why do we show intention, why do we show respect, and it covers all aspects of that. And also some interviews from people that are in the field on how they want to convey their advice for future generations of people that want to be paranormal investigators, to investigate the paranormal and the right mindset. So this book comes right out of the heart, because I said this is what I need to say, especially for 2024, of everyone I worked with, lessons that I learned, and what I'm continuing to learn. And I'm just blessed because I get to work with amazing people like you three and everybody in this chat, pretty much. Todd, Carmela, Raul. I mean, it's just, I get to work with amazing people, and I hope at some, level we leave an impact through our investigations, through our, through the books I write, through the lectures that I give. So I'm just hoping that, maybe we change somebody's idea of death, and we show that there is a continuity to life, and that the light that their loved one has is still there.
So, I mean, we got like about 2.5 minutes left. So I just want to thank you, Richard, for coming on.
Thank you.
I mean, we're going to see each other. We're going to be together on Saturday anyway. We're going to do an investigation on Saturday, which is awesome. That we'll get to see each other again. I mean, in between, everything. So we get to see each other. So.
Well, I can even make a major announcement here. We just got signed for the Morris County Park Commission 2025 season. So I got the list on my phone of all our upcoming 25 days. So if you're in New Jersey, the Morris County Park Commission will be having more paranormal evenings all throughout 2025. So
that's right, and you get to see all of us. Hey,
come see
us.
I
can't wait. That's gonna be awesome.
They'll be in the basement.
I want to thank everybody that showed up tonight in the audience.
Thank you, everyone.
We got a bunch of people that keep on coming back.
Yes, thank you.
I mean, thank you for everything. If you like the show, hit the like button. Hit like it
100 times. Just
like it. Do something. I mean, I only see 3 likes, and okay. But just like us, and I want to say thank you.
We'll come find you.
Yeah, hey, You
Yeah,
like
look
it
out.
or
You
else?
don't like
Or
it.
Well,
But thank you, Richard. Thank you so much
Yes,
for
thank
coming.
Thank you for having
And
me. It's
sharing
been a
all
pleasure.
of your wisdom. And thank you all for joining us tonight again. It was great. Loved it. Thank you.
I just want to leave you. Got to be safe out there. You want to look for ghosts. You don't want to be a ghost. And make sure you make all these old places, if they got tours, ghost tours, whatever, just contribute some funds, or if you want to just be one of the, just to go there, and whatever money they make, they put towards their location to rebuild it. I just want to say thank you, everybody, and we got 1, 2, 3. I'm
Good
gonna
night.
hit this here. Hey, good night. Wait, we're gonna hit the hits. I'm gonna.